Welcome back to the Sometimes Builds. We are kicking off the STI series on my 2007 Subaru Impreza WRX STI. First part of this series is going to be exterior detailing. We're going to do some paint correction, some buffing, waxing, clay bar. But first I need to start with prepping the paint surface. I'm going to use some non-waxy soap to remove all the contaminants on it. And then I'm also going to use this bottle of isopropyl alcohol to spray on any sap, because I have pine trees at my house and in the summer they just drop everywhere. So you spray the sap with some of this isopropyl alcohol, and then you can wipe it right off with a microfiber cloth. So step one, prep the paint surface, get all the wax off, get all the pine needles out. I'm gonna have to pick them all out, get this thing ready for Uncle Charlie to come over here later today and start working on clay barring and getting the surface ready to go. So join us. It is hot in here. So, got the STI loaded up in here. Got all the tree sap off of there. I used Dawn dish soap really to make sure I got all the wax, all the grease, everything that's on it, off of it. I'm gonna show you some products that Uncle Charlie had me get on Amazon and pretty much show you what we're gonna do. But first, let me kick this fan off. So these are the products that we're gonna be using. These are a bunch of microfiber buffing pads, two packs of them. We have the Nano Skin foam pad, which this acts like a clay bar. It will remove anything on the surface. We have the 3D hybrid compound and polish, and this is one of Uncle Charlie's favorites, the instant beading boost. This is a wet coat, instant hydrophobic booster by Q2M. It looks like. I haven't used any of these before, so this will be my first time experiencing it. And this is an auto scrub instant detail spray lubricant glide. I'm guessing this is for using the Nano Skin. And then Car Pro Eraser intensive oil and polish cleaner. And then later on for the wheels, we have this Nano Skin non-acid wheel and tire cleaner. So these are some of the products we're going to be using. Uncle Charlie has a bunch of other ones, like he has a buffer we're going to use, various waxes and polishes that we're also going to probably use as well. So I'll detail those as we go through them. So here's a good before shot of the Subaru. Paint looks like it's in decent condition. There's just wet spots or water spots all over from when I washed it. There's a little bit of alcohol wash on it, but pretty much all the surface contaminants came off. We'll probably get a lot more off when we do the clay barring, but I'm gonna work on some other things while we wait for Uncle Charlie. All right, so the car has been completely stripped down. It is really hot out here today, but we got the AC running in here, so it's decent. Somewhat. Decent. It's not outside. We got the car stripped down. I used alcohol on all of the sap areas, so really that has gotten, it's very stripped down to just clear coat now. There's no oil, there's nothing on it. Uncle Charlie's here, obviously. And so what are you doing first?
Nano Skin buffing pad for the clay barring, and then we're gonna hit it with a buffing compound with microfiber pad and see what happens.
And you're lubricating the pad with?
It's just what they recommend, their glide.
I think 90% of the car will look good.
It smells like sunshine lotion. I think we're done. We don't have to do anymore.
Some panels clean up easily. So we saw a little bit of the C-pillar, the horizontal scratches coming off. I'm gonna back the cameras away a little bit, play some music for y'all, and really speed up this whole side, and then we'll take a look at it when it's done. So, hit it. That is going to do it for day one of this preparing to sell an STI. Probably just one video now that I'm thinking about it. The interior doesn't need its own video. But Charlie went and did the clay bar on the clay bar pad on the passenger side, hood, driver's side, but it's looking a lot better. Like even here on the camera, it is remarkably shiny. And very smooth compared to what it was before. Like, look at that. It's a mirror finish. All right, see you on day two. And it's the next day here. I am going to be cleaning the Brembo brake calipers. Really, they're not that dirty. I sprayed them off with some degreaser. I'm gonna wipe them down, shoot them with some water, rinse them off, put some wax on them. Otherwise, they're not really in bad condition. I put a oil pan underneath this so I can I don't know why I thought that was going to take me a long time. I just did the whole rebuild of those calipers, put new seals on. I think I did new pistons on there too, like 2 years ago, 11,000 miles ago, so shocking it's not dirty. Gonna do an oil change on here, and I think I have a transmission mount that I wanted to replace a long time ago. That never got installed. That's right, I forgot. I don't need to use a ratchet to get the oil pan bolt off. I put a Fumoto valve on it, so it's really a little valve you turn, oil comes out, you don't gotta take a bolt off, you don't gotta replace crush washers, makes it easy. While this is draining, I will show you around down here a little bit. So that's the Fumoto valve right here. And yeah, overall, very clean under here. Suspension stuff, all stock. Something I always do when I do the oil change, I'll write the date I changed it and the mileage I changed it. And I usually write on there changed on, because there's been, some people do the date they changed it, some people do the date it needs to be changed again, but I usually put on the date that I put it on. So I know, oh, this has been on there X amount of time. Of course, a little bit of oil around the gasket here. So here's a fun fact. The current mileage of this STI is 181,712. I last replaced this at 179,612. And that was December of 2021. So I went all of 2022 and then half of 2023, and I put 2,000 miles on this total. That's why I'm selling this. I'm not driving it enough. All right, so oil filter's been changed out. I usually put 10W40 in this thing. Ever since the rebuild, it's always gotten 10W40. Here's another cool Amazon find. Here is OEM Tools oil filter. It has a cap that's made to fit on a Subaru oil inlet cap. So you screw this on and you can just dump. You don't have to hold it. You don't have to let it, bobble up and down. I need to clean this before I put it on there. But yeah, they make these for all the major brands, Toyotas, etc., etc. You can just screw it on and then fill it up, and then it won't go anywhere. Alright, that wraps up the oil change. First oil change in only 2,000 miles. Definitely under the mileage on this. Over on the time, but under on the mileage. It's the next day here. It was storming pretty bad last night, so I just did the brake calipers and I went and played some video games. But here we are again today. We're going to be cleaning the wheels. These wheels are plasti dipped, and they have really only been like rinsed off a few times. They haven't been cleaned. So we're going to see what we can do. Alright, I gotta say, this works a lot better than using a rag. I think I got this off of Amazon. It's really a toilet brush connected to a hose, and when you turn it on, it sprays water and spins. And this is a really soft brush too, so you can just hit all the interior angles of it, and I'm not worried about scratching it because it's really soft. So I think I definitely recommend this plus soap. You can really clean any wheel with this. Initial round of Iron X first, and then after the Iron X has time to release some of that iron on there, go crazy with this. The power toilet brush. Another good thing is cleaning the inside of that. So there's a close-up. Yeah, they're definitely a lot less brown and a lot more gray. So these wheels were painted from like a gray metallic kind of paint. I got it off of dipyourcar.com. It's a site that makes custom colors, pigments. They have like color changing ones. They have metallics. I think they might be doing clear coats at this point, but I don't think. But it's really like heavy duty. This came in like a wheel kit. I think it was like $300. Maybe $250, something like that, and they give you 4 to 6 coats of black Plasti Dip as a base coat, and they want you to use it all. I mean, normally I would have only used like maybe 1 per wheel, but I had to use all 6, and then they give you, I think it was 4 in the gray metallic, and then I think a top coat maybe, but it might have just been those, and they expect you to use every bit of all of those cans, and it is a thick layer of Plasti Dip on these wheels, so I'm not surprised it is holding up very strong. Definitely recommend if you want to change your wheel color. Maybe they're dirty, maybe they're stained, you just want to make it look nicer. Definitely recommend the Dip Your Car stuff. Alright, so I am using this Spray Max 2K clear coat. This is 368-0061. I've had this for a while for 3D props that I've made, Iron Man helmet and broken Captain America shield. So this is kind of a one-time use clear coat. Like once you activate it down here and use it, you have to use it all. So I pulled out some of these 3D props that I had made and never clear coated. So I figure if I'm going to use it for these headlights, I sanded and resealed them. I might as well use it for everything. And let me know if you like 3D print content. I wanted to at some point make a Thanos like gauntlet. I was working on that. I made from Moon Knight, that bird skull. I made one of those. I haven't painted it yet. What else? I made a Loki staff. I was thinking of getting back into it, but if you want to see some 3D print content, let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll work that in the winter months. Put my mask on before I do this. Finished the 2K clear coat on both of these, and then also did it to all of these. I made sure I used the whole can up, so I just like layered it on that thing. This is just a test helmet when I was trying to learn how to do it, so I'm gonna see how that turns out, and then applied the same 3 coats to the shield with a bug that landed over there on the silver, but that'll buff out. So these are done. Just have to let them dry overnight, and then I'll be able to reinstall it to the car tomorrow. Car's pretty much done after that, so we'll see. So this is how the car looks right now. Charlie has finished polishing and everything. I'll show that off once I get it back outside again. And I found out that you have to take off the entire front bumper to take the headlights off, so that's why the bumper's looking all weird, because it's just hanging here right now. The whole thing is just loose. So when I put the headlights back in, I can reattach all the bumper clips, all the 10mm fasteners, and then get that finished. Charlie did his multi-stage polishing and sealing. I think we have one final sealing stage, and I think he still wants to polish up the roof, but the car needs to be on the ground for that because it's a little too high to reach that with the quick jacks, even on the lower setting here. It turned out pretty good. I mean, everything is really shiny again, and you can see yourself in the reflection of it. The paint on top of the wing is pretty old, so there's really no clear coat left. It never peeled, it just faded away. So that is what it is, unless I feel like taking that off and re-clear coating and painting it, which I do not. So that's gonna stay the way it is. Wow, look how shiny this side is. That's amazing. Uncle Charlie's work. So Catch you tomorrow. All right, so it's the next day here, checking out these headlights and how they dried. Actually, it's pretty good. The clear coat dried on it pretty good. There's the orange peel as expected, but that's the whole purpose of doing a buffing layer. I'm gonna get some polishing compound and then buff the very top layer of this clear coat, and then it'll be ready to go back in the car. So I'm gonna do that next. And just for fun, this is how the shield turned out. Same thing, needs a little bit of buffing done to it. And keep in mind this is a prototype helmet that I made, but I do like the way that the gloss clear coat hit the gold. I didn't think about it yesterday, but the red was a base coat. It wasn't the actual, I was going to use the same red that I have on that shield over there, so I feel like that would have turned out a lot better after putting the clear coat on and then polishing it, but looks pretty good for a test run. So we got the headlights back on, bumper back on as well, got all new clips put in there. I just used that wet coat spray and I sprayed all the areas that Uncle Charlie had already polished and waxed. I have one issue with the front bumper. As you can see right here on the front bumper, it was doing this before. I tried to realign things in this general area, but it looks like the bumper, maybe it's an aftermarket bumper, I don't know. It's not fitting right, or maybe this clip has to be replaced right here. Possible. I know a lot of Subaru owners will put like a little clip thing here to hold this together. So this is the only thing that I couldn't get fixed so far, is this little corner pops up. If you push it in, it's just not engaging that clip right here. It's not clicking and holding it. So maybe it's just replacing this thing. I don't know. And we gotta go. So this is pretty much done now. Other than Charlie having to do the roof, I'm gonna get this thing out of the garage so I can clean up this area around it, and then I'll pull it back in, because there ain't no way this is staying outside under those tree saps after we put all this work into it. Ain't no way. And that is gonna wrap up this video. Uncle Charlie did an amazing job on this paint, definitely brought it back to life again. I can see myself in the reflection, which is amazing. Put new tires on this thing, Continental DWS 06s. There will be one more video out on this, but this was supposed to be a 3-part series. Now it's just a 1-part series. Did it all in one video. The next one in this series will just be an overview of the car, things I've done to it in the 2 times I've owned it. Remember, I'm the 2nd and the 4th owner of this car. So the next one will just be an overview, so cinematic kind of shots for the car, and just a recap of everything I've done on it over the years. Other than that, if you like this kind of content, definitely consider subscribing below. I know we are all over the place, but that is why we are the Sometimes Builds, because you know how projects go. Sometimes you get to them, sometimes you're like, I'll get to that someday. I'll do that sometime. This has been one of those projects. So definitely looking forward to getting this to the new owner, whoever that might be, so they can enjoy it and hopefully put more miles on it than I do, so I can focus my attention more on the Vanagon project, get my red RS all fixed up and that cleaned up again. Not selling those, not selling either of those, so calm down there. But definitely want to get this out to its new owner so it can be actually enjoyed and driven. So drop a thumbs up if you like this video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And if you're interested in buying this car, you can drop a comment below, hit me up on Instagram, or email me at mike@mikebuilds.it, and I'll get back to you and I can give you more information. I have it's like a decade worth of paperwork on this car. It's going to take me a while to find it all. Definitely got a lot going on with that. So I'll see you next time. Peace.